Hey guys, today I thought I'd take a look at 4 random games I've got on my Steam wishlist. The wishlist on Steam is a bit funny. It's usually just some game that I've seen pop up in my feed that I like the look of, but I don't always buy them. I've got games on there that I've been following for years, and they've got positive reviews in the most part, but there's something that's stopping me from buying them, and that's probably mainly the price. I didn't used to care what I paid for games at one time, but now I'm getting pickier about who gets my money. First up today, we're going to be looking at eSports Boxing Club. This game visually looks great, that's what attracted me first of all. Then we're going to be looking at Heatwave. In Heatwave, you're going to be controlling guerrilla forces set in Alaska in the near future, and you're going to be fighting to liberate the country. Then there's Warchief, Strategy City Builder. Why it's got a Strategy City Builder in the title, I have no idea. And finally, we'll be looking at Robin Hood, Builders of Sherwood. Again, that's another weird name for me, that one. They're both produced by the same publishing company, so it looks like whoever's picking the names needs sacking over there. Before we start, please smash that like button, it really helps. Right, okay, let's do this. Up first, we've got eSports Boxing. I first found this game on Steam late last year. They were promising a release around Christmas, but that was put back. The first thing that caught my eye was the graphics. The models of the characters are just amazing. Now, with the gameplay, people have been criticising this just recently because a new video came out last week. But I think because it's in alpha, it's too early to judge whether or not the gameplay is going to be good or bad. I mean, if it was in beta and they were getting to the point of releasing, then maybe. But I mean, at the moment, we don't know anything. In this game, in the career mode, you'll need to pick your own promoters and corner staff. Obviously, the corner staff will affect your recovery between rounds and how well you deal with cuts. But on how good your coach is, it'll give you more information about whoever you're going to be fighting. But the most interesting part is the promoter, because in this game you can negotiate the fights for yourself, how much the purse is going to be and what the split will be, the length and cost of the training camp, you'll be able to take out insurance in case someone pulls out from the fight, you'll have clauses for rematches, and all these things will be up for negotiation, but what you can demand will depend on whether you're the underdog or the champion. Now, though they wanted to release in December, I think it's going to be a good while before we actually see the release on this one, but they're putting out a lot of updates on the progress, and they're signing up lots of fights to feature in the game. Up next is Heatwave. This is a real-time / turn-based game set in Alaska in the future, where climate change is said to have destroyed the world. The US government seems to have fallen, and you will need to control small groups of locals trying to oppose invading guerrilla and regular forces. You'll need to manage your own local government and make allies to fight back. This is going to be smaller squad-based combat, with the emphasis on ambushing and harassing the enemy until you're in a position to repel them properly. You'll be able to set up camps in the wilderness where you can craft different weapons and loot to survive. You'll be able to enter local communities and trade with them. This is why it's important to keep them on side. If your camp is discovered, you'll need to move and set up elsewhere once you've evaded the enemies, as you're not in a position to fight the enemy en masse. I really like games like Jagged Alliance and play back in action every so often, so I'll be watching to see how this one pans out. Now, the game's not scheduled to release until 2022, and it's going to be coming out on PC and on Nintendo Switch. Up third, we've got Warchief Strategy City Builder. Why it's got that name, I don't know, and it just annoys me. Honestly, with this and the Robin Hood game coming up, I like the look of them as I enjoy strategy games, but I'm concerned with the fact that they look very similar, and they're both coming from the same publisher. In this game, it's set after a great war between the orcs and the humans, where the orcs were defeated. You'll need to rebuild your destroyed villages and gather all the resources you need to rebuild your armies. They're saying that you'll need to balance between the aggressive expansion and the needs of your clan. You're going to be able to raid human settlements and ambush the caravans. Unlocking new buildings will give you access to new units with special abilities, and worshipping the orc gods will gain you favour and powers. The more human settlements you attack, the more orcs will want to follow you, but in attacking those humans, they may begin to see you more of a threat and decide it's time to attack you. In the video, they were showing various units, though a lot of it just looks like plonking things down for a demonstration. Like the buildings, you place multiple of one type of building, like saying, here, look at this, look at what we can do. Then later, when the humans are attacking, they instantly spawn 3 groups of orcs into combat. Will that be a power, or is it just for demonstration purposes? As I said, I'm not overly excited. I mean, they promise a lot, but they show very little. And both games, though graphically, they look very good. I mean, it'll come down to the gameplay at the end of it. Now last, we've got Robin Hood Sherwood Builders. Sherwood Builders could easily be the name of some family construction firm. So again, I don't like the name choice. Now this looks quite similar to the last game, but you're going to be combining RPG and city building elements. The game's played in the third person, and you'll play Robin Hood. The aim being that you're going to steal and rob and fight, stealing from the rich to help the poor, all the while developing a forest village and community. They're promising a large open world to play in, and the main aim will be to build our village and recruit new outlaws to join us. These will be recruitable from nearby villages in the town of Nottingham. We'll need to provide all the people with houses, food, clothing and weapons, so they'll be able to fight with us. We'll be able to train up new villages in different classes, so we can have hunters, guards, robbers, builders and farmers, depending on what the village needs at the time. You'll be able to trade with the local farmers and villages for supplies, but obviously the main part of the game is going to be robbing people. You'll be able to rob rich convoys that are travelling through Sherwood Forest, or stealing from the houses of wealthy nobles. You'll be doing battle against knights of the Sheriff of Nottingham and fighting other bandits. Now, I said this game is coming from the same publisher as the Orc game, I just noticed that it isn't, so I'm not sure why I thought that. Out of the two, I prefer the look of this one, so we'll have to see how it turns out. That's all for the video anyway, so please hit that like button and subscribe as it really helps.